Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal, and joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua, Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris? What's good, everybody listening?
Also joining us, it is the producer of this show. It is Edgelord Big News Brian. Stop. We are back.
Disclaimer,
Whoop.
it says some things on the pre-show right before this
Some things.
about Spy X Family. And I don't take it
Wow,
back.
you fucking standing on business.
Just a
today.
disclaimer. What did you
Hey,
say
you know,
about
standing on business and also promoting the supplemental podcast to this one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ah.
Big brain.
Big brain Josh. Promotional Josh. It's business Josh. Yeah. Well, we have some manga to talk about today. We got Sakamoto Days, Kakurabachi, Jujutsu Kaisen, Undead Unluck. But first, we have plugs. You could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole. Where can they find you?
At JDCole_37 on Instagram and at New Jump City Josh on both X and TikTok.
Oh yeah, Brian.
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/lunchtime.
Damn right. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Check us out on TikTok as well at the same @. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we will talk about it on our pre-show chat show that Josh just mentioned, where he said some things about Spy Family. So check that out. Not just that, he said some things about Mission Yozakura Family for the burgeoning fan base of that out there. So go find it and torch him in the comments section there. You could
absolutely disgusted.
Email the show at, I already said that. Subscribe to the show also as well. Please do that. Give us a like, share, subscribe on the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Castbox. We're pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts. So give us all that love, all that attention. And yeah, we'll love you for it. So without further ado, let's get into the show. Spoiler alerts. Let's get going. Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days, chapter 180. I Know Someone. Last we left off, Sakamoto has just finished fighting off Torres, this weird gambler old man with sandblasters in his sleeves, and is trying to figure out what this guy meant by using the cards that he's dealt. Sakamoto's going through his own little training arc there. Meanwhile, this chapter opens up with Kendaka training Shin and the sniper guy, I forget his name.
Was it Ryu?
No, something Skay, because he has a bird named P-Skay.
Yeah, you're right. Hold on, let me look at
Yeah, look it up, Brian.
Kioske.
Yosuke, is that your answer?
Kioske with a K.
Okay. Well, Brian, look it up anyway. I don't think that's his name. I feel like that's not it.
Am I making things up?
I don't know. I feel like that's not it.
Hayato?
I don't
I'm
think
looking into it.
Yeah, Brian, look into it.
Kamihate? Right?
That's his name?
Oh no, that's the super sniper guy. The guy who only appears as a sniper.
Oh yeah. I love that guy.
The other guy. It's funny because this is my favorite character. He's my favorite character.
Oh, Sniper Man, the sniper guy.
What the Hyusuke? It is. It's Hyusuke.
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 You said Kioske?
Yeah, you said
and Hayato?
Hyusuke.
I'm bugged out.
Hyusuke, you say, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mashimo.
Yeah,
You can
so
say Mashimo too.
Yeah. So Hyusuke and Shin are training with Kindaka, who used to be
Oh
a
no, it's not Hyusuke. It's Hisuke.
Hisuke.
Hisuke. Yeah, there you go.
Hisuke and Pisuke, that's why.
I'm just
Um,
gonna call him Mashimo. It's easier.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, they're training with Kindaka, who once I believe trained Sakamoto back in the day, um, and he's beating him up easy, because he's a legendary assassin. Um, but
And he's really fast with his fast shoes.
yeah, and he's like, wow, they've really come a long way in a short time, So he's actually complimentary, which is kind of new for little sensei characters there, because like.
Yeah.
You guys are actually doing pretty good. You're at your physical limit. I'm not dissing you. You're doing a great job of what you have. But honestly, some physical traits like mass and size are just inborn. With your frame, you can train your whole life and you'll never be a match for Sakamoto in the order. And Shin gets all sad. He's like, that was harsh, Kindaka. Um, but he's like, you're trying too hard to be like Sakamoto. I mean, you have your own talents. You should be training your ESP. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you have your own cool shit
agree.
that you can do. And he's like, I know you can read minds and you could see a few seconds into the future. You could overwrite your opponent's thoughts momentarily. You should use that more. And Shin's like, I wanted to, but like I can't. I don't really have anybody who knows ESP. I don't have anybody who could teach me things. And Kindaka's like, I know someone. And in that moment, Nagumo comes in, and Nagumo explains about this fortune teller in the JAA. They're not an assassin, but they're pretty good. They have 100% accuracy in seeing into the future, and 80% of the JAA's most important decisions go through this fortune teller. And he was able to do that. He's a group of assassins plotted to kill them, but the day before the attack, they all died from food poisoning. They can walk the lines of the front lines of the battle without a single bullet hitting them because their future sight is so crazy good. And Nagumo asks if they want to meet him, and the next thing we see is that Hisuke and Shin walk into the JAA Assassin Support Center and turn themselves in for being involved in the museum terrorist attack with Sakamoto and stuff. So they get arrested and they get sentenced to imprisonment in the JAA jail.
I'm surprised they didn't just assassinate them. Try to assassinate them.
Yeah. Well,
I like how the lady said,
he's like, Lou is on the other side of the this prison thing, the visitation area.
Yeah, glass.
Yeah, the glass there, and she's like crying about like, I can't believe you guys got yourselves arrested. This will blemish the Sakamoto store's reputation. How will I explain this to Aoi? And Shin explains that they're doing it all for good reason. And Nagumo explains that the fortune teller made a bunch of bad calls regarding X, so they threw him in jail. And they explain that the JAA jail is underneath the Okutabi Castle. And it's super violent inside, so assassins who aren't tough often get killed on the first day. And it's divided into 3 layers, with the most heinous criminals being held in the deepest underground. So impel down, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, in fact, the prisoners die so frequently from violence. There's nobody that's ever finished a sentence there and been released. And so yeah, the chapter ends with Hisuke and Shin being taken into the JAA jail, and that's exciting. That's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Sakamoto Days, chapter 180?
So apparently the
The Okutabi.
the Okutabi. I don't think that's a real thing. It's Okazaki Castle. Maybe that's what it's based on.
Hmm.
It looks just like it.
Oh wow, maybe.
And there's probably a ton of chambers underneath it as well that was probably used as cells or something, but I don't know. I'm just speculating. This is an interesting chapter. I already mentioned it earlier, but I think it was very easy for the dude to tell him, like, bro, like you got a whole special ability. Don't try to you nice. Like he's like, you already got like good physical skills, but you can't push that any further. You could only put so much more muscle on or whatever. But you got a different type of technique you can hone, and yeah, that makes total sense. I don't know why. Um, what's it? Hisuke?
Heisuke, yeah.
Hisuke? Yeah, I don't know why Hisuke is going to jail with him too. It's not like he needs to talk to the mind reader, but maybe he'll run into someone that could help him out. I just always assumed he'd get trained by the other sniper dude, but I guess that also, I think they're supposed to be rivals.
Yeah, I feel like the sniper
So
dude is like one of the bad guys, like the antagonist group.
yeah, right. So, and plus, I think Hisuke's already a really amazing sniper. There's probably other things he can do
Yeah.
to make himself better, round out his abilities. So I love that kind of stuff. I mean, it was a pretty chill chapter. I did not see them throwing themselves into jail, but this should be an interesting little arc.
Mm-hmm.
Nagumo was not there with him. He was just talking to them about it. Yeah, not much to say. Looking forward to see what happens. Brian, what are your thoughts on this chapter?
Um, I forget why Shin is like so against like why he was so against his ESP. Was it because like
I think he just didn't
During-
have anybody to teach him,
okay.
so he never really
Um,
sought it out.
Wait, I thought this was a pretty sick chapter. I don't know why Mashimo is with him in the prison.
Probably to
because
watch
this
his
is like
back,
a
to be honest.
Shin is like a Shin thing, isn't it? So it's a little odd that Mashimo is with them in the prison area, but hey,
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, I think obviously, the author has plans for him too. He wouldn't just throw him in there,
yeah,
right?
I think it's
I
gonna
hope
be
not.
fun. Maybe he learns how to snipe without sniper rifles,
That'd be crazy.
like bounce his bullets
Yeah.
without sniper rifles. I think that would be cool.
Learns to use different type, like he maybe learns he's a beast with just items in general, kind of like Sakamoto, just with accuracy. Nah,
Yes,
that's
the
like copying him. I don't know.
Sniper Sakamoto. But yeah, that I think that was a pretty sick little chapter. Not gonna lie. Not much really happened yet. I wonder when the fuck Liu is actually gonna do something in the story because she hasn't done shit in so long.
Yeah, Lou hasn't been around doing much lately.
Like she's just been delegated to legit just being a cashier at Sakamoto's.
An important job, man.
Yeah, somebody's got to man the cashier. Maybe she'll get something to do in this arc as well. I think they all have to get stronger, so.
Yeah, I hope so. But
But she's not really an assassin, you know?
Aside from that, it's nice to see Kendaka, doing his thing. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
I really enjoyed this chapter. It's just like a build up to Shin's part of this arc. I'm hoping we get more of it in the coming chapters as well, because I do love a cool prison break-esque story. So I'm here for it. But yeah, Josh, as Brian said, not a whole lot happened in this chapter. It's just setting up Shin. I'm excited to see how this goes, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what prison setting in this fucking series.
It's gonna be nuts. I mean, like,
I cannot.
they already built it up as a place where like not a lot of people survive, and Sakamoto days can get pretty greasy outside. So inside this place must be like extra violent. Yeah, I feel like Hisuke is there to just kind of like back him up, because this is probably too dangerous a place for him to just go alone.
Even
Yeah, I
the
guess so.
guard looks greasy.
Yeah.
Look at his face.
Yeah, look at that face. Face that only a
He has
mother
the
could
face
love.
of a Sakamoto villain.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty sick chapter. I'm here for it overall. Were those a lot of thoughts, or should we move onward?
Move on.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on.
Hell yeah, let's get into it.
Bloody cross.
Oh yeah, it's Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 268, settling matters. So last we left off, Itadori was able to unleash one big black flash onto Sukuna, as we are revealed that Nobara is back and was able to use resonance to weaken Sukuna to a point where he couldn't activate his hollow wicker basket, and that which allowed Itadori's guaranteed hit to take effect. And he took a full force black flash. This chapter starts off with Sukuna just talking down to Megumi, saying like, "How will you be able to face the world again? You had your body stolen from me. Your sister was killed, and you refused help. Oh right, and the boy you saved slaughtered lots of people. Just give up. You'll never be able to live a normal life." And
also, you're ugly and dumb. And silly.
yeah, he's really out here, just like. And I think this is, Megumi talking, where he's just like, "Why are you so desperate? One of Sukuna's fingers is still out there. If the way to become a cursed object is set, and Itadori pulls me out, you die. Plus, resonance isn't always good for you. So, if 19 fingers disappear, the last one will probably can't carry your soul. So, you're going to be dead. It's all this to explain that you're dead. You're dead, bud." And in the real world, Megumi is finally separated from Sukuna. Sukuna becomes this weird mass of flesh on the ground, and Itadori stands above him, and he's like, "So what's it going to be, Sukuna?" And he picks him up. He says, "Sukuna, you are me. We were born with the burden of a curse, and the monster you became was up to luck. But I had my grandfather, so let's do it again. Not to curse someone, but to live with someone. Even if no one else accepts it, I'm willing to go on living with you." And Sukuna's like,
Wow.
"Man, I gotta compliment how complete you are in acting the fool. Do not insult me, for I am a curse." As Sukuna fades away into nothing. And meanwhile, Hakari and Uraume just kind of call off their fight because they realize that, Sukuna's gone. And Uraume says that, like, well, if Sukuna lost, it's because he was a fully fleshed curse, not because you guys were strong. You merely got lucky being born 1,000 years later, saved your lives. And Hakari,
Salt.
sour grapes, rage quit.
Odium levels are off the charts.
Yeah. And Hakari is like, "Got lucky. That's ultimate praise for a guy like me." And then Uraume shatters into ice. Because I guess, she's like, well, he lost. I'm not going to live for this. And then the next page, we see Megumi waking up in a bed. And the first thing he sees is Itadori putting Nobara in a box to do a Kugisaki is alive surprise. And, he's like, "Oh, you ruined it." And Megumi's like, "Oh, sorry." And, they're all sitting around a table together. They, talking about, like, how are you guys not reacting right now? The hottest girl in your class you thought was dead is alive. So you should piss yourself in surprise or weep for joy. And Itadori's like, "Well, I cried a little bit when you did resonance." And I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of cute." And Megumi is like, "Man, I found out when I was in Sukuna. So, there was still something going on here." So apparently we find out that Gojo left the three of them letters. Well, not the three of them. I think Itadori does not have one. because he spoke to Gojo directly. And I forgot to note this, but Megumi has like 2 scars across his face now. So Nobara goes, "Gah," you know, and she's like, he just wrote some info on my mom and what she's doing. And he's like, "Did you want to know that?" And she's like, "No." She crumples it. Meanwhile, Megumi just starts laughing at his. He's like, "What happened? Did he make you special grade?" And Megumi's still laughing about it. They pick up his letter and they read it, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he said this." Megumi's like, "It's okay." And the letter reveals that Gojo's like, "Sorry, Megumi, but your dad's a goner. I wasted his ass." He said, "My bad."
He was a test dummy for my new ability.
Yeah, your father was a stepping stone for me, a character development.
And now I'm dead too, so
You know, all's well that ends well. So yeah, I guess Nobara notices the time and she's like, "Oh, I gotta go see Maki and the others," and she tells Fushiguro to go with them, and they're gonna say everyone's gonna get together, and Megumi's like, "Oh, I should probably apologize," and Nobara's like, "No, it's not about that. It's about Okotsu. We have to save them," and he's like, "Whoa, oh, save him from them?" And that's where the chapter ends, I guess. I guess save them from like Jujutsu High and all that. I guess they're planning on killing him or something. I don't know. That's where the chapter ends here.
no way. They're all dead.
Who's there all?
All the old Jujutsu guys.
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to say. But that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 268?
I don't even know what to say. Believe it or not. But I'm not gonna be a sucker and just pass the baton. So I'm gonna just say the first thing that comes to my mind, and that's I really liked the moment between Itadori and Sukuna right before Sukuna finally dies. First of all, panel of the week, right? Page 6 in the middle.
Hold on,
When
I'm scrolling to
Sukuna's
it.
on like he's yeah. All right. It's when Yuji's like looking over him, but not that panel's the one where you can see
Yeah.
Sukuna and like Yuji's shadows over him. He's like, oh shit. Damn. Oh man.
the shit
salt
out of
is
me.
real.
You just punched me out of this teenage boy.
You lost to Yuji. Lost, bro.
It
It
is
said,
what
so
it is.
what's it gonna be? Really? Obviously, Sukuna was never gonna be like, okay, you know what I mean? But I think the fact that like Yuji's supposed to be housing Sukuna's twin brother that was consumed in the womb, but his soul remained. Like, I guess that's probably why he has such a soft spot for Sukuna, like on a subconscious level. But that was real. He tried to give him another chance to just be to live with Itadori and not be a mass murderer. And he was like, I need to do that. The mass murdering. So
I
You know,
need
Itadori-
it to mass murder.
I need it.
yeah. He's like, you trying to tell me to live without oxygen, essentially. So, no. He had to go. He finally died. This is what was the name of this chapter? Is this still Inhuman? It's Settling Matters. What was the last chapter? Was that Inhuman?
I think so.
Let me check it out. How many of them did we have?
Oh yeah, what's the grand total of Inhuman?
30.
Yep, 38.
38 chapters.
A 38 chapter final battle. Not counting the
There
little
are-
prelude that we took where Okotsu fought Kenjaku for a quick second. I feel like the interlude.
Oh, right. That was a little break.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. So this has been like a whole year, and this has been over a year. fighting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you take and consider like the breaks and somewhat, it's almost a year at the very least.
You know what? Yeah, like, yeah, if you do count the breaks and all of that, but I remember Gojo fighting against Sukuna in September. I
Mm.
remember getting my new job and showing my coworker what just happened to him. And I was just like, I was devastated. I was like a couple weeks into my job. So that was, yeah, it almost made a whole year, this arc. So if 6 weeks is a mini arc, what's what's a year? That's all just a regular
Oh
arc,
my
or that's a
God.
mega arc?
Is this like a haiku thing? Are you throwing shit at haiku?
It doesn't have to be. It could be it could be a genuine question that you could just answer like that.
But is it?
If I told you no, would you believe me?
Maybe not.
Fine. I don't need an answer for that, I guess.
No, I said maybe
The
not.
audience will be missing out. As a maybe not, just a regular arc.
I mean, it's a final arc. Okay, so the Inhuman Makio Shinjuku Showdown started off in chapter 223 on May 21st, 2023. So yes, over a year.
Wow. Oh, right. It was before September. Duh. Oh shit. Yeah. This has
Damn.
been,
Wait, it's been that
yeah.
long?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you can, if you count the breaks. If you don't
Yeah, I
count the
know there
breaks,
was like
it's
a
probably
month.
a little under a year.
Akutami took a month off. I remember that.
Oh, true. But if it started in May and it ends, we can't say September, so it ended in at the end of August. So that's like a 2-year cushion. I don't know.
No,
Whatever.
it's
It's
like a year
basically a
and
year.
change. Year and 2 months.
Yeah.
I want to.
Man. I wonder what you guys think about what they were saying at the end with Okotsu. I don't think he has to save them from Jujutsu High.
I guess I was more thinking the other. I don't know who they have to save him from, but
Or save him from the inside of Okotsu's body.
Gojo?
yeah, but he said save him from them.
JJK. Yeah, we have to keep
I think it's I think
holding
that's
on
a
to
little
these
bit of a
tropes, huh?
curve. I think that's a curveball because look at the sweat indicators. I think that's more like a gaggy kind of thing.
Yeah, but who's them? Like, what does that even mean in the
It's probably
context
going to
of
be
a
some
gag?
kind of joke, if I had to guess.
Hmm. Were those all your thoughts?
Yeah, the
Josh?
way they got people approaching it's definitely a joke. There's no like he's buttering us up, and it's gonna be another baseball game. Fucking hate Gigi.
I hate Gigi.
You better not do that. You better not do that.
Another baseball game.
The
The
only
final 3
way
chapters.
I'll accept it if it's cursed baseball.
The final 3 chapters are just a baseball game.
That'd be
That'll
pretty
kill
sick.
me on the inside.
Mm. Well, were those all your thoughts, Josh?
Hopefully they'll play Jujutsu football.
That'd be cool.
Those are all my thoughts. Ryan.
I hope they talk about the merger at least once before.
Oh,
the
this is the
series
RGC.
ends.
My
Oh
bad.
yeah.
Sorry, RGC. Yeah.
I'm gonna hold mine. I don't think this was mine yet, but I'll give it to Josh.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
All right, Brian. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I just hope that they at least talk about the merger before the series ends. I feel like it's kind of lame that this fight just ended without the merger being like a factor in it. It would have been cool if like Sukuna merged with the merger, but maybe that would have been too much. The motherfucker already 1v fucking 10'd. So him getting like another level up would have been maybe a little too crazy. After reading this chapter, though, I do think that I need to reread this arc just to see if this really does feel like an abrupt finish to the fight. Because at the moment, it feels kind of abrupt. You know, like, do you guys feel the same way?
I'll say this. I think the news that there was going to be 5 chapters, I think that kind of affected people's minds into feeling the abruptness all that much more because we're seeing the end of this fight in the context of knowing there's only 5 chapters left. I would.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah, it's
that's
affected
fair.
me.
I feel like
It's affected
I
me.
feel like
I
it's
don't know whether
definitely
it's
like.
negative or positive, but
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely like altered the perception of even me sometimes. I'm not saying that like I'm like above feeling that because I also felt like, well, damn, because 5 chapters doesn't all feel all that much, you know. But I don't know. I mean, this is a 36 chapter fight, and it was getting to a point where like I don't know. I feel like it's okay. I think I don't. I feel like if there's any abruptness, it comes from the news of learning that there was only going to be a finite amount of chapters after the very next one. I feel like if we had gone into this without that knowledge, it probably would have felt a little more natural. But that's just me. I don't know.
After this, there's 3 chapters left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I wonder what is going to happen with Akotsu. Very curious about that. It's to continue my thoughts. I think it's pretty. It's something felt so nostalgic about seeing these three together again. It felt so fucking nice to see Yuji, Nobara, and Megumi just chilling, fucking around, having a good time. I miss this so fucking much from this series. And also, I really wish we could have seen more from Hakari's fight against Uraume. That would have been pretty sick, but I guess some things are best left to the imagination. I can't imagine that it was going to be an extremely riveting fight. I'm not going to lie.
I was just gonna say that. Like, I think Hikari's gimmick kind of ran out. I mean, nah, I'm not saying it wouldn't have been entertaining, but all it would have been, it would have been Ume trying to set up elaborate plans and tricks, all for him to just bust out of that shit with regeneration, or finally get unlucky and break our hearts because he gets killed.
They should
You know?
have
Like,
maybe they should have saved showing his curse technique for until this moment, maybe, so that way we wouldn't have gotten like tired of it.
I don't think I was ever
But
tired
maybe,
of it. We only saw it once.
yeah, we only saw it once, but I feel like once is enough, right, for that kind of power.
I don't know about that. I don't know if it's enough.
I lack the imagination to
Because it's a
see what more could have been done
because
for him.
it's a luck based power, which already is pretty like dangerous in a story. I'm not gonna lie. So I feel like if you use it too many times, you probably don't. It like runs out. The novel runs out pretty quick. So I think
You
it would
know
have
what's
been cool,
crazy?
but
I feel like, sorry, Brian, my bad.
no, it's all good. Go ahead.
I think the funny thing is we talked the whole community joked so much about how in depth the explanation for Hikari's ability was, and like, and then even with that there was still videos of people not fully understanding, and even like us at times, like I had to go back and read it a few times just to get just like basically all what it all boiled down to is that it's not just luck. It's that once he gets his ability activated, it's kind of slow for you. Like you have to really hope his shit breaks and you could catch him like right at the right time. So he could just keep the luck going. His ability, lends into itself. It like the luckier he gets, the luckier he gets. So like anyway, what I'm trying to say is that as complex as people kind of made it out to be, its downfall, in my opinion, is that it's actually not that deep and complex because all it does is gives him regenerative powers and makes him a little bit stronger, probably. You know what I mean?
Well, it makes him
It could have
immortal
been
for
conditions where,
4 minutes and
huh?
11 seconds.
Right, which is insane, right? But I think it would have been a little bit more interesting from like a strategic point of view, or like a creative point of view, if like there were more conditions based on like what luck he's drawn. Could be stuff where like he's getting low rolls on situations, but it's like it could be building up to something. You know what I mean? So there's like it's a little bit more dynamic and how it can go. Where really the way it is now, it's just he gets lucky, then he gets immortal, and if you can't survive him being immortal, it's slow for you. And, you know, it was fun to watch. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Like if they did a jujutsu movie or something like that, and he had another fight, I wouldn't mind watching it. I'm just saying it could be more interesting. Maybe that's a hot take, but that's how I feel.
I feel like it would be. I feel like this probably isn't going to be the end of JJK content. I'm sure that they'll have like a movie or two after the series is over. I think that would be cool. Or maybe, fingers crossed, the sequel series.
Oh God,
But I don't even know what that would be about. Because it feels like they did end up tying up all the loose ends.
Borutsu Kaisen, Jujutsu Kaisen Next Generations. They all have kids, but only
Ease.
Borutsu
Borutsu
Itadori's. Borutsu Kaisen. They all have kids, but only
Still curses
Itadori's
out
matters.
there.
But yeah, those are my thoughts on JJK. Pretty fun little chapter, heartwarming chapter. I missed this trio a lot. So.
Yeah, man, I really like this chapter. It's not my RGC, I suppose. I understand why people would feel this is abrupt because they fought so hard to defeat Sukuna that it feels a little weird that all it took was just one last punch. In a sense, it wasn't just this big father-son Kamehameha type moment where all the characters had to get together and shoot a beam. But honestly, this fight was never really about defeating Sukuna outright. It was about separating Megumi from Sukuna. And it was about wearing him down to get to that point. And Sukuna, it was literally a 20v1 where he was fighting pretty much every remaining surviving character of this series until the very end.
This is what Drake thought.
Yeah,
he was going up against.
This is what Drake felt like. What was happening to him? But
yeah, it was not reality, but definitely in his head, he was like, "Oh man, like got the whole jujutsu world coming at me."
Oh damn!
Yeah, this is exactly Josh is right.
It's like a handful of people that threw a few jabs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
what is this, a 20v1? And it was for Sukuna. It was a 20v1.
If Sukuna ain't have no Ghost Riders,
yeah, he would have won if he did.
Only Maharaga.
Yeah, Maharaga was his only Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And notice when Maharaga wasn't around, Sukuna finally lost.
Finally.
And yes, it only took 20 people giving it their absolute fucking all. And also, a week, 2 weeks, or whatever the fuck of planning and training to take down this one guy. This
He
was
was bigged up this whole series.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is one of the more appropriate boss fights I've ever seen in manga. Like, for the amount that Sukuna was built up, this felt like the appropriate amount of pure suffering and fighting that these people did to take him down. Because it wasn't just like all of them mobbing him. They all had like contingency plan on contingency plan on contingency plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, this probably ended up being like the best possible outcome
Yeah.
for them.
And it
Not
wasn't
gonna lie.
even just to straight up beat him in a fair fight. It was just to separate him from this kid. They weren't trying to out jujutsu him. They were just trying to separate him so that they wouldn't have to out jujutsu him. So
yeah, I wonder how this fight would have gone if it was actually like full Sukuna.
They
like
probably would have
Urarame
lost, to be
says.
honest. I mean, they really brought it down to the wire here. But boy, oh boy. Yeah, I felt like the way Sukuna went out also was like very in line with his character overall. He said, I am a curse. And it's the same thing from when way back in the day when Itadori was, asking Sukuna to help Junpei. And he was just like, I'm not fucking human anymore. I'm a curse, dude.
Oh, right. But even if he was human, he probably wouldn't help.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like Itadori was like, all right, I forgot that both of these guys are curses. They don't have that kind of a thing you could appeal to in any way, shape, or form.
They both just laughing at him. That shit was so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you knew that it was. That's how you knew it wasn't going to be on some Nine-Tailed Fox shit where they were just going to be friends at the end. And I appreciated that. I appreciated that they stuck to their guns on that one, to be honest, as well.
Very end.
Mm-hmm. Uraume's gone. we did never get to see Hikari fight Uraume. But I guess that's fine. I guess I didn't have to see it. And, I feel like people are having the same reaction to Jujutsu Kaisen as they did with My Hero Academia, where there's just like so many things that feel left undone. And I'm kind of formulating thoughts on that because I think there's something to be said about world building and a lesson to learn between these two series.
I agree 100%, bro. Like, for real, I was really thinking to myself, like, we could have had some more stuff happen between that Gojo fight and the Cullen game, in my opinion. It didn't have to. It accelerated, and I'd be a liar to not call that out.
Mm-hmm.
Did I wonder why? Maybe I don't know. Maybe we could save those thoughts for.
Yeah, I want to see how it ends first
Before we
do the thing and we talk about Jujutsu Kaisen as a whole. But yeah, I mean, Uraume's gone. Hikari didn't get to do his thing, but I think like his whole thing was distraction anyway. Like Hikari has a good technique for stalling.
Yes.
And I think that was the goal with Uraume. I think like Uraume is like stronger than we can imagine, and the best thing to do is to put the most immortal guy in front of her. Although I wish we could have seen Hikari go up against Sukuna for a minute. I would have loved to see how Sukuna reacted to his domain.
Sukuna probably would have just started gambling.
Yeah, maybe.
Be like, I'm gonna manipulate the curse energy to rig the game.
He couldn't do it in a domain. He wouldn't have that ability.
hollow wicker basket.
Yeah, but you know what's funny about it is that hollow wicker basket doesn't like Hikari's domain itself isn't attacking you. It's a buff for Hikari more than anything.
Mm,
It like activates
yeah.
buffs within Hikari. And every time he hits a jackpot, he's likely to hit it again next. So no matter how many times he cuts this guy, he won't die for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. But it would have been fun to see that.
Yeah. Hikari doesn't just become like invincible though. Doesn't his cursed energy output increase too? Like it makes
Yeah,
him
yeah, he
stronger?
gets
Or am I-
incredibly buffed, but like the main feature is that his reverse curse technique is like super jacked up, and he can't die for the length of the theme song that the Pachinko game is based on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really like that little last note he left for Megumi. That made me laugh. I wasn't expecting it.
I wasted his ass.
Very much in line with Gojo.
So I turned his body into a crescent moon.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, those are all my thoughts. I don't know what they're gonna save Okotsu from. He's currently like a corpse, a living corpse right now. So I don't know what they're gonna do. But those are my thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen. I'll have to see what's going on.
I have one more thought for you. If we don't see them fight again, how do y'all feel about Megumi's final fight being against the receipt guy?
I'm okay with that. I'm not mad at it.
I didn't
because-
mean that
Reggie
as
was
a
actually a
joke,
pretty
by
fun
the way.
fight.
No, yeah,
It was pretty dope.
It was a good fight. I don't mind it at all. I was pretty
He
excited.
used his domain.
Yeah, he
That
used
was
his
cool.
domain effectively. He dropped an elephant on a man.
He used a lot of strategy. That was a good fight.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, are we ready to move on?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Kagurabachi. With that, I'm going to toss it over to Bran.
Loading it up,
Thanks.
baby.
Bran.
All right. So the chapter starts off with a title card. Well, not a title card. Would you describe that as a title card?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No,
why
it
not?
wouldn't count.
Color page.
It's definitely a title card for the arc.
Oh yeah, I guess there is a cover page. So it starts off with one of the sword bearers, named Yoji Uruha. And it's essentially like a flashback to when Rokuhira gave him his blade. And it's like there's like a monologue of him going 18 years ago today. 18 years ago, the day Mystery Rokuhira entrusted me with Kume Yuri, which is his enchanted blade, I presume. It was the highest point of his life. After fighting real hard during the war, he finally got entrusted with being the guy for Rokuhira's blades, which is a pretty sick moment. And he kind of talks about how he he kind of like loves Mr. Rokuhira's eyes, and that it was like a great honor to be fighting for him. And after he had gotten the blade, he didn't see him again and didn't hear a word from him after 15 years. And after a bunch of time passes, he hears from one of the elite sorcerers that are protecting him that the Hishaku killed him, essentially, and that they already killed the person who had Cloud Gouger. I think this is the first time they mentioned her by name. Um, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the
Yeah,
first.
I don't really recall. But yeah, I mean, that's the first time I remember.
And he's pretty bummed out about it. Um, he's uh like his biggest hero just got fucking executed by their biggest enemies. So he's just kind of like, ah, shit, man. The fuck. Um, and the sorcerers kind of like, talk to him. They're just like, hey, come on, man. It's not. You're gonna be fine. It's our job to like kind of guard you and shit. So you're gonna be safe here at this cool fucking place. So they took him to the Kogoku Fortress, which is the hot spring that they mentioned before. And he mentions that he lived there in seclusion from the outside world with 14 elite Kabunabi fighters. And he
Quote unquote.
and every day he took a bath. He takes a bath with them. And they're just like, hey, this isn't so bad. And one of them is like, oh, by the way, there's a message from headquarters, and essentially he briefs him on Chihiro's existence. And at first Uruha doesn't believe that Rokuhira has a son. And the reason why is because he believes that Rokuhira can't take care of a kid, which is true though. It was actually true because Chihiro was the one who was taking care of him. So looks like he wasn't too far off with his assumption.
I don't know.
And it goes on and he says that he was ready to die at any time, and for 3 years he lost his will to live because his biggest hero is dead. And then we cut to current, where, well, not current, but you know as close as you can get, like the invasion onto his fortress, and they're trying to evacuate Uruha from the fortress, and they essentially get him out, and they order him to essentially uh just make a fucking run for it, and they'll hold him off while he tries to get away. And he listens to what they say. He gets the fuck out of there while they go to buy him time, and they instruct him to head to um a station where they're gonna run into some reinforcements who can protect him and get him to HQ. And that's where he ends up. So he's there, and he's kind of just walking around through this crowd, and who else but Hakuri shows up. He's just like, hey, you're Mr. Uruha, right? And I guess the Kamunabi have some like super special, symbol that they can bring up. So he shows it to them. Um and he's kind of like, yeah, you're my protection. How'd you know it was me? And he kind of brings up the fact that, it's not just him, it's somebody else that's alongside with him. And Uruha kind of starts to realize that the Hishaku guys are already on them, and they're kind of just blending in with the crowd. Hakuri says that he mentioned that he noticed 3, but there's actually 4 according to Uruha. And since this guy is like a big deal swordsman, he's kind of wondering what kind of sword that is, and it turns out that it's just a regular old fucking sword. Which makes Hakuri a little more nervous because these are big deal motherfuckers trying to come over here kill him. He's kind of under equipped with a regular ass sword. And the chapter continues with a flashback of Chihiro kind of saying, "Yeah, man, you're kind of a big deal, dude. Like your powers are actually kind of fucking sick. So don't be afraid to kind of, do your thing." And Hakuri stands in front of Oruha as these guys begin their offensive and tries to activate his ability, but it's still too early and he kind of just crumples. And then Oruha's kind of just like, ah, shit. Are you all right, man? And he gets a flashback to the Kamunabi guy, the sorcerer that told him to, survive. And as he's dodging an attack, his hat falls off, and he goes, "Roger that." As he chops a dude's arm off, kind of tosses his hat at somebody, and then flies through and slashes it, cutting the dude's head in half, and then just easily dispatches of the rest of them in like one motion. And he goes, "Shoot, I'm rusty." And Akuri's kind of like shocked that he managed to take out four sorcerers by himself with just a regular ass sword. And we see Uruha kind of like trying to gauge the situation, and more Hishaku guys show up. And Hakuri notices that the train doors are about to close nearby, and he gets Uruha into it, just narrowly avoiding the sorcerers as they were coming. But it turns out there were some sorcerers inside of the train, and just as they're realizing that they're surrounded, Hakuri says, "No, they're surrounded," and we see these little bubbles of water kind of rising up inside of the train. And behind them in the shadows, like a ghost, you see Chihiro appear inside the in between for the carts. And as the guy is kind of turning around to look, he doesn't see anything. He's just like, "Well, where?" And Chihiro appears in front of them as they're looking back and just walks past them as they just fucking get cut down. Like a fucking badass. He's just walking in. And he's just like, "Pleased to meet you, Mr. Uruha. My father spoke of you often. We'll take over as your protectors. We promise not to let you die." And you see that his eyes are very similar to his father's, and Uruha Uruha wide-eyed, he goes, I can fight for your sake again, Mr. Rokuhira." And
Gassed
the chapter
up.
ends with Hakuri saying he might be kind of screwy. And that's Kagurabachi. What are your thoughts, Josh?
This was. I like this chapter a lot. This is probably my second favorite chapter. But yeah, where to start? This guy's cool.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be kind of a loon. No,
Which he
And-
kind of is.
he kind of is, but he's also like put together. It's funny. So this guy got skills. It really sucks that he doesn't have like his sword, and that these Hishaku people have it. It's how did they get them, man? These oh yeah, they robbed
they
Rokuhira. Yeah.
Rokuhira and took them all.
Right. Oh man, that was so fucking lame. Anyway, yeah, Hikari. No, Hakuri. Yeah, Hakuri. He ain't gonna be useful for a little while, but that's okay. He did a whole lot in the last arc. I'm surprised he's even out there. That's a good sign. When Chihiro pulled up, he's always using some like new cool move. He did something with like bubbles. You see them, right? Them little.
Yeah.
he did some bubble shit.
Oh man, how fucking cool was that? This was like some Bleach shit. Right here, I have to stop referencing that series. This was Chihiro. They didn't even get to see how they died. Imagine that.
Yeah. Pretty peaceful, I guess. If you want to look at it that way.
I guess, yeah. They didn't know. They were looking at something and then death. You know what I mean? I guess the hero's merciful. And the trench coat is sick. I mean, Chris, what are your thoughts?
I really like this chapter a whole lot. This is tough, but this may be my RGC.
It's mine.
Let me skim through the next series just to make sure, because I remember liking our next series also very much. But yeah, you know what? Yeah, this is my RGC by a very close margin. So I really like this chapter. So certified RGCs from me and Brian.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this character. I'm glad that he's kind of a goofball, you know. One of my favorite things about this chapter of Kagurabachi is that it's continuing on the vibe of just the creator of the series hyping his own series up. Just being like, hey, this is the Sword Bearer assassination arc. Yeah, get excited. Look at this shit. Color pages with these new cool characters.
Honestly,
guys
he's
are
really
gonna-
good at it too.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it. I'm not saying that he's bad at it at all, but it's very funny. He's just like, watch out, guys. This shit's about to get fucking real.
Who are those other people
What other people?
on the color page?
Those are the other three.
I know one of
swordsmen.
them is the swordsman.
Those are the other.
Oh, those are the other four?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they're the three. Okay.
Yeah, Uruha's just one of them.
Cool.
But yeah, I like Uruha a fair amount. I thought he was a fun character. I guess I have like a soft spot for these like super loyal type characters. I also loved his design with this. I love his design with this hat. It's very samurai-esque. You know, I think it makes sense along with his character that it reflects that he's just like this super loyal samurai type guy. So yeah. I'm pretty excited about it. I enjoyed his backstory and all that stuff. The color spread is fucking sick as always. You know? I feel like every other chapter gets a color spread from for Kagurabachi, and you know, I'm not mad at it at all. Keep it coming.
I like the watercolor.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, for real. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Okudera from Hitman Reborn. Or
World
Goku Dera.
Trigger? Oh, him.
Goku Dera.
Goku Dera?
The dynamite guy from Hitman Reborn who was just like stupid.
Oh, he does.
He was just like stupid
That's-
loyal.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense. I was wondering why he felt so familiar to me.
Yeah, he was just stupid loyal.
Oh,
to Suna.
right. Yeah. Mad loyal.
Yeah, it just
Tsunayoshi.
Tsunayoshi.
Suna-san.
Yeah, I've been reading
Boss.
a little bit of Hitman Reborn here and there wherever I could. And I don't know why. I guess like it's just top of mind, so it reminded me of Goku Dare. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I think he brings like a fun energy to the series. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. Do we have any rebuttals? Anything else to say?
Nopers.
Alrighty then. With that being said, let's move onward.
I don't really have to fucking care who's in my way. I'm gonna fucking kill everybody.
Undead Unluck. And with that, I'm gonna toss it over to Josh.
It's Chris. This is chapter number 220. Now, come on. Last week, Fuko absolutely went berserk on Ruin. None of us like him, so it was very cool to watch. She ripped his head off, punched him so hard she left her glove inside of him. And when it was all said and done, she was able to summon Andy with the sheer amount of unluck that she gave to Unruin. She gave him so much unluck that Andy was able to teleport from the sun and arrive to beat his ass. That's very unlucky. He's been on that sun for trillions of years, you know? So,
Yeah.
like, for him to come down on this one day, very unlucky. Anyway, I'm going to stop. I'm going to drop the bit. So this week, yeah, we start with Andy summoning in front of Fuko's face. Oh, no, that happened already. But she's remembering when it first happened. And she's thinking to herself that, you know, Fuko is saying that she's sure that Andy thinks that moment was where it all started, referencing him, like, you know, meeting her for the first time. She says, but that's not true. The truth is, and I'll cut to that later. So back to the fight. Fuko and Andy shot off a bad bullet X, whatever the fuck Andy's move is with the finger. I don't know what it's called. But
Bad bullet.
and was able to, yeah, but Andy's move is a little different.
Hmm.
With the finger, I think. I could be wrong. Anyway, they bust open that big move that unfair Unruin was trying to drop on them. And yeah, they get to fighting. So Unruin can't believe it. That he only took his like special move out with one finger. And then he uses clones, like he to surround Unruin. He can't believe it. He's like, yo, like this guy gained some new abilities. What the fuck is going on? And then and then so like he thinks he finds like the right clone and like, you know, shoots some blood through Andy's head. Which I mean, it's not like it would have mattered. It wouldn't have killed him, but you know, while that happens, Fuko, so what we think is an Andy clone flying in, to flank Unruin is actually Fuko flying down with Andy's like skin, which she loaded with like
Shit is
unluck.
crazy.
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. Like I had to go look back to be like, wait, wasn't there another clone behind that? And I was like, oh, you can see the rip marks. That's literally just his skin. And then the little the eye and mouth hole.
Jesus Christ.
That shit is
This is
too
crazy.
funny. Yo, so she smacks him with that shit and puts it on in like a post-it. And he was like, oh, so that was their plan. But there wasn't that much contact time, which right, like she could only load it up with so much unluck. But the point of that was to set up Andy to use his dead road attack. Dead road.
Dead.
We need a drop for like a beam or something. Anyway,
Bokuto beam.
so yeah, that's fine.
That's the best I
Good
can do.
enough. I'll take it. So Unruin is, you know, in a crater with just his head and the top part of his torso, and he's just talking all this shit like, you know, I see how you caught me with imbuing me with unluck, whatever. But listen, you know that's not enough to kill me, and you really think that's gonna kill God? You're naive, childish even. He's like, we have similar abilities, you know, but why are you helping them out? Like, I'm sure you understand. Like, just accept that you'll never be able to defeat God. And he's like, look, I live by my own rule. right? No matter what happens, that rule will never fade, even if it's up against God. Cool. And while he's saying all of that, Unruin gets hit by a random truck running in the street. And he is like, damn, that's another stroke of unluck. He's like, but what kind? Like, I wasn't even touched. And after he gets hit up, like he gets hit up in the sky by the truck, and then Pokeballs emerge and trap the rest of his body parts, like preventing him from like warping between them. Like I guess like switching his core or whatever. And Nico pulls up and he's like, yeah, I got y'all on the back up. Don't even worry about it. What's up, Andy? And Andy's hype's like, yo, what's good, Nico? Like, it's up from here. We good. So yeah, we only getting started. And he tells Fuko, all the ties you've worked to form over the past 200 years will come to help us. And then Unavoidable pulls up with his cool ass suit uh to uppercut Unruin up to the sky, hit him with an OTG. For the Marvel vs. Capcom fans, you already know, but for those that's off the ground. So you could start an aerial combo. And then Shen and Mui, yeah, Shen and Mui pull up and use the extendo pole. What's that shit called? Shenzhan? Little
That's
help
the
there?
power
You got
pole
that,
from
Chris?
like it's Shenzhen
Can
means
you
just to
pronounce that?
extend, I guess.
Oh, that means extend. Okay,
Mhm.
never mind. So yeah, and they extend him out to the stratosphere. And before Andy goes to finish him off, um, Fuku's like, listen, thank you, Andy. All right. For always living and never giving up. And she's like, it started with you, Andy. If you were never born, then I was like, yeah, listen. This shit came down to dumb luck. All right. The fact that I ran into you. It's like, you're the one that turned that luck into fate. You put in that work. And that's true. Fugo's been going crazy nonstop. So back to Unruin getting launched out of the stratosphere, actually into space. I didn't know the pole can extend that far. Pause. That was crazy. Yeah, super pause. Yeah. But so like
Hey, yo, you didn't know the
so
pole could extend that far?
yeah, all right, all right. So
Come
my
on.
bad. I didn't know that. Whatever. Let's move past this. So Andy arrives, and it turns out that the reason Unruin kept getting hit with unluck was because Andy was in somehow implanted in his body and was imbued with unluck from Fuko. So that's why he kept getting hit. He said, damn him. He was, I'm not going to repeat
Hey,
that.
yeah,
I've said
come on.
enough
What
wild
did you
shit.
say?
No. So he says, I told you, didn't I? I've got one rule and one rule only. I'm guessing you found that in God, but I got mine from her. That's why I can live. That's why I could take on any challenge. Right. And we get a little
Wow, that's
flashback
beautiful.
to a bunch of nice moments between him and Fuko, many naked moments as well.
Yeah,
It is what it is, right? Undead Unluck. And he said, and on the last page, we get a 2-page panel of Andy saying, let's enjoy what life has to offer as he begins his fight with Unruined. All right, and that's the end of the chapter. Brian, what were your thoughts? Unironically.
Oh. Sorry. It was cool to see Fuko and Andy teaming up again, like good old times. Good old times. It's just like my heart.
Are you okay?
I'm just like my heart's just not in it, man. I like there's not enough Billy. Not enough Billy going on. Like what's going on with that?
you used to simp for Top, and now you're simping for Billy only.
It's because Billy is so OP, and this series is trying to convince me that he's not.
But he is. I know he is. In my heart of hearts, I know that he is.
The series is not trying to convince you that Billy is not OP.
Yes, it is. They keep putting fucking Sean up in that shit.
Sean is stronger than Billy, Brian.
No, you're all right. You're just trying to get a rise out of me, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah,
Silly
yeah.
fucking goose. But yeah, aside from that, it was a pretty cool chapter. I like seeing Ruin get his fucking face demolished. That's always a good thing to look forward to.
He got run over by a car. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, he deserves it. I wish they would back up and
Yikes.
run him over again.
We got uppercutted right after. Off the ground?
Off the ground. But yeah, honestly, I don't have too much to say about this chapter aside from the fact that, you know, not enough Billy and Ruin got fucking rolled over. That was really fucking, that was a good chapter. I liked it. There's your marathons.
I enjoyed this chapter quite a bit. It was my second place, to be honest. Just because I like how everybody started to come together as well to put their fucking beats on this guy who like ostensibly killed them all at the end. You know, like he was such a problem in the previous loop, so it was good to see him get a little bit of comeuppance here. I still am maintaining that he will join after this arc.
Ruin? I
Yeah,
hope not.
yeah, Unruined is going to join.
That would be cool. Yeah,
I
they need
bet.
him. He's a negator. They
Man.
need him to make sure God unruins their world.
Yeah, panel of the week for me was page 11, where you see the fucking
Okay.
power pole just smack the shit out of him.
Yeah. That was nice. And he's already mad far up.
Yeah, they made him cross-eyed almost, I think.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But overall, I thought the action was very fun, and you know, everybody coming together to beat him up was pretty great. The undead skin was nuts, and it is just a reminder of how like wild this series can be with its premise. And with Andy in general, it's like some Deadpool shit.
All bets are off
Yeah.
when it comes to Undead Unluck.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. I had a great time reading it. Fun time overall. Do we have any rebuttals? Anything left to say?
No, sir.
All right. Well, with that being said, that has been Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram, and at New Jump City Josh on X. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Catch him when he's streaming at twitch.tv/itspunchline. Email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we will talk about it on the pre-show chat show that we do, and that you guys should check out. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing that. And subscribe to the show, please. Give us a like, share, review the podcast. It goes a long way to helping us get seen and more known. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, we will see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Bye.
Peace.